What's up guys, Kevin Cage here with another crypto update. I hope you enjoyed today's video. We're going to dive into CSPR, the native token of Casper network, and do some comparisons of what we've seen in the past. So we have two price charts up. We have Casper on the left and we have Cardano, ADA or ADA on the right, both on the 5-day time frame. So these are two layer 1 protocols, and what's interesting about Cardano is when it crashed last bear market, it was absolutely brutal, almost 99% down from its all-time high, about 98%, crashing from over $1.30 to under 2 cents. During this period, basically a double bottom. People did not believe in Cardano, they called it a scam, they were following the developments, and they just complained on Twitter. Yeah, big deal, oh, you added these features to the network, you created this application, oh, big deal, you guys are gonna fail. And the longer a multi-year bear market is, the longer that prices crash or trend sideways, then crash again, then come up as a bull trap and crash again for hundreds of days, the more effective it is in convincing even the toughest investors into thinking there will never be another bull run. Maybe I'm wrong about this investment. And when the majority of retail investors finally lose hope, when sellers are finally exhausted, whales scalping and doing all types of trades can't really get any more liquidity into the system, they'll typically pump prices in order to get more people in. So if enough sellers are absolutely exhausted and they're done selling, there's not really any opportunity until there's more liquidity in the market. Therefore, the whale will want to pump price up to attract attention and bring more liquidity into the market, and then repeat the cycle all over again. And when I was doing videos in 2018, 2019, 2020, if you talked about a future bull run or assets even recovering, you were a moon boy, it's not happening. And the people that believed and stuck around made a lot of money in 2021. So Cardano was a big success case. I know there were other lower caps and smaller market cap projects that did a 400 or even 500x plus, but it's a big deal for ADA because it was in the top 5 of all of crypto per market cap during the bull run. And it did over a 160x for a relatively high cap asset at this time, which is a big deal as a layer 1. And this bear market lasted several years, and it took over 1,000 days, over 1,100 days to create a new all-time high price. Now, a few things in terms of comparing the structures. You can see clear distribution sell-offs for Casper. It is not like for like with any chart. Every fractal is going to be different, but history does rhyme. People look at developments of projects or new partnerships or case studies and proof of concepts, and they're saying, well, why isn't the price moving? This must be a scam or it's going to fail. And the answer for the crypto asset classes we've shown in previous videos is this happens in cycles. This is cyclical. Now, every person measures cycles different. There's different types of cyclical analysis that you can use. Some people look at the pi cycle for Bitcoin, others look at the Bitcoin halvings. And some people just measure the cycle from the low point of the trough or the bottom of the market to the end point or the completion of that actual cycle at the peak. But the timing is always tricky. If you are betting on a legitimate project that survives, it's likely going to recover and do very well during a bull market, which means there's going to be tons of volume that enters the market. And by volume, let's just compare and look at volume levels for ADA when it started recovering, and you can see these green candles. So this is the Cardano US dollar chart on Kraken, and look at these green candles just going absolutely parabolic when we started that rise to do a 160x return from under 2 cents to $3.10. During this uptrend and all of these fat green volume candles, we can look at a date, look at February 15th, 2021. Now when we go to CoinMarketCap, to look at the historical snapshot around this date, and we can see Cardano was in the top 5, beginning its uptrend at 80 cents. And its 24-hour trade volume, or money moving through this asset every 24 hours, was over $7 billion, $7.1 billion right there. When we look at Casper, we haven't had that volume. We want to see the green candles upon a breakout. If it trends back up and closes that gap at 7 cents, that's awesome, but I want to see large green candles and ample volume. And looking at Casper's volume, just to show you how small the trading volume is, 2.6 million. 2.6 million versus over 7 billion. That's a difference of 2,700x. Cardano's volume on a 24-hour basis was over 2,700 times larger than Casper today. So what's most impressive about Casper is it's in the top 100 with such low volume, not even large T1 exchange listings. And if we scroll up and look at some other assets and see where they're listed, or just compare the volume today, even though the market volume across the board for a variety of assets are down, we can take a look at Render RNDR. It has a Binance listing, a Coinbase listing, a Kraken listing, some of the largest exchanges with the most trade volume. We can see that Render at the beginning of this year in 2023 got those green candles, it got ample volume, and it was on all of those exchanges available to be traded. We can see from that low, it did over a 640% or over a 7x return. Now, do I think Casper will be on Coinbase? Yes. Do I think it'll be on Binance? Yes. Do I think it'll be on Kraken, since they presented side by side with Kraken for multiple years over at Davos in Switzerland? Yes. I know some people are waiting for that to happen during the bull run, rightfully so, as another potential catalyst to move price, but at the end of the day, I just want these on-ramps and bridges being ready. All of these markets and all of these projects have their own ecosystem, almost like a body of water of liquidity, but you want to connect it to other rivers and other bigger oceans potentially where it has all of that liquidity, because where it can flow, money can flow as well. In looking at the Casper price chart, born in a bear market, it has never experienced a bullish cycle, and we've yet to see what it can actually do. And keep in mind, even today, when you consider the all-time high market caps of other assets, so Cardano's all-time high market cap was 99 billion, Solana, Doge, around 75 to 80 billion. If Casper exploded in the future and reached that market cap of a variety of assets, Cardano, Doge, Solana, that would be $6 to $8 plus. And that's a super bullish success case in the future, but keep in mind, just looking at these levels. So on the weekly price chart, Casper has come up to the pivot, but I was hoping we hit the R1 or R2 like other assets have already done this year. We are making our way up to the weekly fair value gap around 7 cents, we just didn't quite make it and we're falling back down. And not financial advice, this is just my opinion. I'm biased because I hold Casper, I want it to do well, and I believe in it. But there's not a doubt in my mind that during a bull run, when volume returns to a variety of assets, that we're going to recover nicely. You can see we're in a type of descending channel, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points of contact. And now here, this is where it gets super subjective and you can decide which levels are the lows and wicks and candle bodies to use. If you use these lower wicks, so we have 1, 2, 3 points of contact, and you think that Bitcoin does in fact close those gaps and sweep the low 20Ks, it's possible to fall lower. So maybe instead of using these wicks, you could move it up to the lower candle bodies down here and just draw a type of internal trend line as well. So it's not perfect, but you can see that this is a potential falling wedge as well. And during a bull run, not every single asset goes to an all-time high price. Some will actually challenge the previous all-time highs or weekly candle bodies, and some will just draw a nice retracement to previous fib levels. But there are open gaps above, there's a lot of liquidity, and not just for Casper, for a variety of assets at their lows. And you can see up here, like 23, 24 cents up here, there's plenty of liquidity from these wicks, so 1, 2, 3, that double top, even all the way up here. So I mean, from the R1 to up to 24 cents, it's just a huge range. And even if you're not a moon boy, I'm just a believer that we get that retracement up to that level in the future, maybe a back test, and then you can have a shot at an all-time high in the future. So the weekly candle bodies for Casper up to 60 cents. If we drew a Fibonacci retracement on the swing high of weekly candle bodies to the swing low of the weekly candle bodies, the highest and lowest the weekly candle bodies have closed. We know we have an open liquidity gap at 43 cents exactly, and notice using the candle bodies, that is also the 702 Fibonacci retracement. So overall, there's a lot of levels above. We're waiting for volume, and it's easy to say that during a bear market, we're just waiting and twiddling our thumbs and waiting for volume to come to the market and alts to retrace. We're still clearly in this accumulation phase, waiting for volume, and just remember that Cardano's volume was over 2,700 times more than Casper. And there are open liquidity gaps for Casper at 7 cents, 12 cents, 18 cents, over 30 cents, 43 cents, etc. And not financial advice, this is 100% my opinion. I believe Casper can easily be in the top 20, if not top 10 in the future. During the bull run, there were alts in the top 10 at 50 billion, 80 billion, $99 billion market caps. And alts in the top 20 had $10 billion, $15 billion market caps. So Litecoin, ranked 15 today, has about a $5 billion market cap at 4.9 billion. If Casper had the market cap of Litecoin at almost 5 billion, that would be a 12x from current price, and this would be worth about 43 cents. Exactly at the open liquidity gap and the 702 Fibonacci retracement. Now I like the side-by-side look of Casper versus Cardano and other assets, but remember during a bull run, not every single altcoin during a cycle creates a new all-time high price. Whereas XLM's all-time high price around 92, 93 cents back in 2017, 2018, the last cycle didn't create a new all-time high price, but notice the weekly candle bodies basically approached the same exact level, so it reached the previous weekly candle bodies, which is pretty interesting. And XRP last cycle didn't create a new all-time high price either during this lawsuit while it was being sued for over 2 years. And just drawing fibs on the weekly candle bodies just like we did for Casper all the way across. So we have the swing high on the weekly candle bodies and the swing low on the weekly candle bodies. You can see we did in fact retrace basically to the 702 Fibonacci retracement. Whereas Bitcoin and Ethereum created new highs all the way up to these extensions near the 3618 Fibonacci extension. Cardano was around here. XLM was around the 100% retracement, and XRP was around the 702. In the most bearish case for a retracement during a bull run would still be any of these fib retracements. And overall for XRP, you can see that fib levels were respected, and during the bull run, when we got the retracement, we came up to the 236 right there, more wicks right there, and then even some support and then flipped to resistance. And a friendly reminder, looking at a variety of assets on the weekly time frame and just measuring from their high at the weekly candle bodies instead of using liquidity wicks, which show Casper on Huobi or Wobi to $65, we're just going to measure from candle bodies to see how low we are from that high. So we're down about 94, almost 95%. And in this bear market, there are dozens of assets down. It is not just Casper, it's not just XRP. Some of them are actually up higher than others. For example, Algorand is down over 95%, Cadena is down 97%, and even others are down even worse, like 99% for Moonriver. But remember, we've also had other assets drop over 90% only to return or do a retracement of 2, 3, 5x. In this case for Fetch, it actually did retrace just over 10x. We know Injective recovered, Render even did very well from those lows. Some of them did a 6x, an 8x, a 10x. And even alts like XTC at least drew a wick, almost 400% or close to a 5x, still sitting about 2.7x from its low. So looking at the weekly chart, I do think there's just a lot of alts just playing in accumulation, retesting lows, creating new lows, and we're waiting for volume to come. Okay, we'll finish up this video going over some recent news and just additional connections. I just wanted to do a price video just talking about the weekly time frame, not speculating as much on the 4-hour, but just talking about big picture and looking at the monthly, the weekly, and taking a look at lower time frames like the daily and just waiting for ample volume to come. You can think that technical analysis or using charts and looking at historical analysis is garbage. I get that, but the whole concept is to be able to inform yourself to try to make better decisions and buy as low as possible to sell as high as possible, and look at other levels so you at least have a few exit points to consider, while potentially also keeping long-term holdings a stake, which is compounded 10% APY per year, which is a big deal. If Casper does do a 5, 10, 50, 100x, that 10% APY is going to be exponential. So right here we have Shared by Tokenizer, an absolute must follow for a variety of utility assets. So we can see right here, this is the Energy Web Founding Foundation. And their founding companies include some of the world's biggest companies like Shell. They have actual live applications with Volkswagen. You can read about it on the Energy Web website. But Patrick is actually the chairman of the Casper Association as well. So Energy Web, a lot of XRP and Ripple members, and even Casper have very deep ties in Switzerland. And this guy's a big shot. He's an expert with Swiss and international law. And just 2 weeks ago, he was in Singapore at the Token 2049 event alongside a lot of Casper members, including Ralph Kubli on the Casper Association. And this post from a couple years ago does say Patrick is the chairman of the Casper Association alongside Ralph Kubli, who's a member. I'm not sure if this is still 100% accurate with everybody's specific roles, but I know he's involved with Casper. As you can see, he was just at the event 2 weeks ago. Now, the big thing about Casper Labs, the company Ripple, Energy Web, Hedera, a variety, and there's plenty of crypto projects that I didn't name, it's just a massive list. They sit on Hyperledger's foundation with some of the largest companies in the world, like Deloitte, one of the big four, Deutsche Telekom, which owns T-Mobile, American Express, some of the world's biggest banks, CVS, Huawei, IPW, the Casper partner. We have Input-Output. And then looking at the World Economic Forum connections, you know, Casper Labs is a partner as well. And here's what I was referencing back in 2020. I know I did a video on this years ago. XRP Ledger Foundation, Ripple, and Energy Web announced world's first decarbonized blockchain. And the key word is this group, RMI, or Rocky Mountain Institute. So they backed and basically funded Energy Web. And on the World Economic Forum's website, you can see Grid Singularity. This is a green blockchain technology company leading the development of an open, decentralized energy data exchange platform. And this is under the Energy Web Foundation, as you can see right there, co-founded Energy Web Foundation together with the Rocky Mountain Institute. You can read all of their case studies, their partnerships, and just understand the overall platform for asset management, data exchange, and green proofs. I think this narrative is going to be huge over the coming years, and this is one of the most legitimate, even lower cap projects in the space that is actually solving the solution with their platform, and even BlackRock endorsed this platform publicly. When BlackRock endorses a platform, it's a big deal. With $10 trillion assets under management, the only 2 countries in the world that are bigger than BlackRock are China and the United States. So I basically consider BlackRock to be one of the major countries. So we talked about Rocky Mountain Institute, RMI, which basically funded and founded Energy Web. Remember, Ripple put this out last month, this new platform. So Centigrade powers the next evolution in carbon markets. As we scroll down, this is in collaboration with the same group that basically founded Energy Web Token. So Centigrade is an open data platform serving the global carbon and nature markets, providing full data transparency and traceability for the entire life cycle of these credits. And in future videos, we'll talk more about the tech and different updates on their GitHub for Casper Labs and Casper Network specifically. But if you'd like to learn more, remember, you can access the website of Casper Labs, you can access the website of Casper Network, you can find the recent community calls that they do on a monthly basis for the community or developer call recap of features. You can go through GitHub and actually see what's public at least. You can go through the repositories and look at different updates for Casper Labs, Casper Association, go through their blogs, read the case studies, and even visit the website docs.casper.network and just understand what is Casper, what are these dApps, how are the accounts and keys running. learn about smart contracts, read the white paper, and I would be curious what percentage of crypto investors that own a project have never read the white paper. That is like the most important thing to do. Even if you don't understand it, read through it, use ChatGPT to help you understand it and explain it. And that is just so important. I never buy anything with real holdings without reading the white paper, without doing like 2 weeks of full research. Going to CoinMarketCap isn't enough. Going to the website isn't enough. You want to look at everything. You want to go through LinkedIn. You want to look at their funding. You want to understand as much as possible the pros and cons and try to get a better grasp of the risk and reward with each investment. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Remember, these patents will still be minted on Casper's public chain. I wish I knew when. They did confirm this is not vaporware where they say they're going to launch it and it doesn't happen. Casper Labs is working with IPWE to launch this. This is $7+ billion initially coming to Casper's public network. One of the largest hybrid enterprise deployments in history. So every time you see Casper launching these hybrid deployments with enterprises, it's because enterprises want privacy, but they also leverage the public network for security. And huge thanks to all that hit the like button. I know it'll be a lot more fun when prices start to wake up again. And crypto communities like Casper, it's super small, and these communities grow when prices increase. When Casper's at 15 cents or 20 cents, the community is going to be a lot bigger, and the same thing happened for a variety of assets that we've seen over the past cycles, the last 3 to 5 years. If you enjoyed this video, I'd greatly appreciate if you could hit the like button, let me know your thoughts down below, and my link tree is linked in the top of this YouTube video description, with all links, crypto resources, and discounts. I'll catch you in the next one.